Pops, it's not quite a Christmas miracle, although, like, it's pretty good what's going on. We've got a chip shortage update. I think we're on the other side of things here. Before we hop into it, though, today's video is sponsored by us. Damn it, join YAA.com. You can search for cars there. Don't have any ads, no dealer lead gen, none of that stuff. Please check it out. But, Dad.
Yeah.
We're on the, like, we got, like, what's the saying? It's like darkest before the storm or something like that.
Yeah, it's darkest before the dawn.
But yeah. Like the hurricane, we just went through the eye, I guess. All I'm trying to say is it's better. Things are better, right?
Yeah. Well, I think what you're trying to say is for automobile manufacturers, Santa Claus has come to town and dropped tons of microchips down the chimneys of all these manufacturing plants.
If you're still watching the video at this point, like, kudos to you. But anyway, let's get into the data. Let's give the people the information they actually came for. Every single week back on the website, joinya.com/guide/chip-shortage, we track the data from Auto Forecast Solutions. Pops, did you have a chance to take a peek at this?
I did, and I noticed some of the numbers went down.
Yeah, so for the first time, and this is a sport, the chip shortage updates are a sport similar to golf. The lower the score, the better.
Yes.
We had our first, since we've been keeping track of these numbers, which is about a year now, week over week decline in the worst case projection of how many vehicles will be lost due to the chip shortage. So each week what we track is Auto Forecast Solutions says, hey, this week here's the latest projection for the total number of vehicles we think will be lost because of not enough chips to produce them. That number had gotten as high as 11.325 million, okay? Over 11,325,000 vehicles that they projected to be lost from production. The total amount that had already been lost from production is over 10 million. This week, Dad, the latest number was 11.309 million, a decline of nearly 16,000 vehicles. So that means 16,000 less vehicles are expected to be lost to production on their worst case scenario this week than last week.
Or it means 16,000 more vehicles will be produced than they had initially thought.
Yes. Yeah. And initially spanning back 7 days earlier to the prior week's data.
Yes.
That's good news.
It is. It's good news, but it's not like great news. But what's good about it is that the shortage seems to be lessening, and so that there can be more production. The real dilemma is after we did a deep dive into projected chip shortages through 2025.
That data comes from Boston Consulting Group.
Yes.
Really incredible report. Yeah.
Yes. We're in for an improvements in 2022, 2023, 2024, and their projection is that by 2025, chip production will match automobile manufacturing needs, so that they'll equal out. So we still have a long road to go to travel before everything gets equal, but everything should be improving. There will be more cars produced in 2022 than there were in 2021, but still not the number of cars produced that the manufacturers originally had hoped for. And that trend will continue into 2023 and 2024.
100%. And I think it's worth putting some context here for everyone that's watching the video, Dad. So this is the chart from the BCG report that you were mentioning. So,
yes.
And this is what's interesting. Auto Forecast Solutions shares with us their weekly projections for how many vehicles are going to be lost in 2021 as a result of the chip shortage. And you can see here in the BCG chart, they're saying in 2021 about 10 million units have been lost from production globally.
Yes.
Well, what Auto Forecast Solutions doesn't give us, and BCG is the first source that we've had project anything out for 2022, is they're saying 7 to 8 million are going to be lost next year.
Yes.
So it's like the ticker starts over, you know? They're saying 7 to 8 million, then in 2023, 4 million are going to be lost, and then in 2024, 1 million are going to be lost. And then, like you said, 2025, we're back to parity between supply and demand. And so just because we're starting to see reversals in terms of the worst case scenarios for 2021, and we're seeing some good headlines out of Toyota and other manufacturers. Again, good news. Great news is going to be way down the line when really there's all the supply back. Because just because there's more chips and more cars being manufactured doesn't mean that dealer lots are getting filled back up. Doesn't mean that used car prices are coming down anytime soon. But this is the first leading indicator that something good's happening. And by now, it's like 4 weeks in a row. Like, this is a plateau. We had seen
Yes.
decreasing numbers in the projections. We had seen 0 week over week increase in projections, and now the first negative, or like pullback.
Decline.
What's the word?
Yeah,
Decline. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I like I say, it's good news, but it's just a long road that we still have to travel before production can match needs, and we just all have to realize that. I mean, if production improves by 20% next year, so instead of losing 10 million cars to production, we're only going to lose 8 million cars to production. That's an extra 2 million cars globally that get to be sold. But 2 million cars globally, even though 2 million is a big number, well, it's not that big of a number over a global marketplace that actually could have handled an additional 10 million vehicles being manufactured. But it's an improvement, and the fact that we've seen that plateau hit, even though it's the latter part of December 2021, it's good to get to the plateau. That means we've probably hit the apex, and we're now on our way on the downward side of this roller coaster. But it's a long roller coaster. This very well could be the world's longest roller coaster.
We've used the storm analogy, the dawn analogy, and now the roller coaster analogy.
Yes.
That's the chip update for this week. Stay tuned for next week. We'll have the latest data. Every single week we'll bring you the latest data because we want to stay on top of this. The moment we see inventory levels start to come back up, we'll be doing like live streams and celebrations and all sorts of fun stuff. Like you just said, it's the climax. We just hit the climax. I climaxed. We climaxed. We're over the climax, and now.
Wow. Speak for yourself.